This is a small trade card album. Trade card albums were popular, probably mostly among women and children, from the late 1860s probably until into the 20th century. But their biggest heyday was in the 1870s and 1880s. Usually they're larger in size than this in these big scrapbooks, and sometimes they would be labeled as trade card albums because they were made specifically for this purpose. And then sometimes people just took regular books or empty ledgers or other books and catalogs that they had, or calendars, and filled them with these trade cards. That this really came about because color printing had just gotten inexpensive through the process of chromolithography in the 1840s through 60s, and the price had finally come down to where it could be used in cheap advertising that would often be given with products at the general store. Say you bought a pound of flour, you would get maybe a flour trade card, and they would be colorful and humorous, sometimes with very strange imagery, probably aimed to entertain, especially children. Sometimes they would have visual puzzles. Sometimes they would even be something called hold to light, where if you hold the trade card to a bright light like the sun, you would be able to see some hidden image that would appear with the special printing and paper process that was used for the hold to light. Some are called mechanical or metamorphic because they opened or had some 3D effect of some kind that would open out. Students would sometimes be awarded something called a reward of merit, which was basically like a prize your teacher would give if you wrote a good essay or were well behaved, for example. It's not as common that they would have these original drawings like this. This is a particularly nice, small size trade card album. Anyway, I imagine this is probably circa 1880, so it's a little shy of 150 years old, but the imagery is still holding up really well. This is generally not the kind of acidic paper that does very poorly, so this should last for, hundreds of years potentially if humans make it that long. Anyway, this is a lovely example of what a trade card album can be, with just really interesting imagery. Sometimes the imagery would sadly be racist in an attempt to be humorous. And trade cards are often soaked out of albums like this because they can be sold anywhere from like 50 cents for a small one to hundreds of dollars for their more rare examples of trade cards.